and I just feel bad for everyone involved in this event. The whole undercard, opportunity has been ripped from all.
Jake Paul has immediately concealed the Mike Tyson fight and didn't even wait for officials to set a new date. Looks like his prayers were answered. You might have heard that Tyson had to postpone the fight due to an ulcer flare-up while traveling. Poor guy, it's just a natural issue for someone his age. But Jake, oh, he was practically dancing with joy, waiting for this. It's like he wanted to be saved from the snake without getting bitten, and guess what? He did. Now, you might think Jake bailed because he was scared of Mike Tyson, but hold on, the devil's in the details. Another big reason is he wanted to fight someone else. Before I drop the name and reason, let's talk about why Mike Tyson had to postpone in the first place, especially when he was training like a beast. Mike Tyson's recent medical emergency sent shockwaves through the boxing world and put his much-anticipated fight with Jake Paul on hold. While flying from Miami to Los Angeles, Tyson, a boxing legend at 57, suddenly felt dizzy and nauseous. As the plane got closer to LA, things got worse and the flight crew had to call for medical help urgently. When the plane landed, Tyson was met by first responders who quickly checked him out. It turns out Tyson had a stomach ulcer flare-up. Now, this isn't rare, but it can be super painful and disruptive. The severity of the symptoms meant he needed to be taken to the hospital right away by the Los Angeles Fire Department. At the hospital, doctors confirmed Tyson's ulcer had flared up, causing all the trouble. This was no minor scare. It was a big deal that needed immediate attention. Tyson's doctors told him to take it easy on the training and rest for a few weeks. Ignoring this could lead to even more serious health problems. For Tyson, known for his relentless work ethic, this advice must have been hard to swallow. He's publicly said that his body is in the best shape it's been since the 90s, showing his dedication to staying fit and competitive. Even though he really wanted to keep training for the July 20th fight, Tyson knew he had to put his health first. Most Valuable Promotions, MVP, the organization behind the fight, released a statement supporting Tyson's need to rest. They made it clear that both Mike Tyson and Jake Paul agreed it was only fair to ensure both athletes had equal time to prepare. MVP is looking to reschedule a match later this year at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The new date is expected to be announced on June 7th. Jake Paul, always the drama king, expressed his disappointment while mixing it with supporting Tyson's recovery. In a statement, Paul said, "I fully support postponing the event, so Mike Tyson has no excuses come fight night. My fans know that I don't want to face Iron Mike at anything but his best." He added that he's ready to claim his victory when Tyson is back to full strength. This incident not only delayed the big fight but also showed how age and intense training can take a toll on even the toughest athletes. Tyson's decision to step back and focus on his health shows his wisdom and experience. This delay, while a bummer for fans, ensures both fighters can compete at their best when the fight finally happens. The postponement affects the whole fight card. Undercard fighters like Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, and others are now in limbo, waiting for the new date. This disruption reminds us how unpredictable sports can be and how important health really is. Do you really think Jake was all teary-eyed about Mike's condition? Not a chance. 2 days after the announcement, Jake canceled the fight, saying, "Mike's not fit to fight. I'll find someone else for July 20th. He'll reveal his new opponent at the end of the video. But for now, let's dive into the reality of Jake's hypocrisy. Jake Paul's reaction to the postponement was as dramatic as you'd expect from the self-proclaimed king of controversy. When the news broke on May 30th that the fight was postponed due to Tyson's medical emergency, Jake wasted no time sharing his devastation on Twitter. He posted, "I'm heartbroken. I've been training for this moment for months, and now it's been taken away. But I support Mike's recovery and can't wait to face him when he's back at full strength." His fans were quick to offer support, but the sincerity of Jake's words is questionable given how quickly he moved on. Despite his public display of disappointment, it seems Jake was secretly relieved. Facing a legend like Tyson is no small feat, and the prospect must have been daunting. By finding another opponent, Jake not only avoids the risk of a potentially embarrassing defeat, but also maintains his public image as a fearless competitor. However, his quick decision to cancel the fight and seek a new opponent shows a side of Jake that many critics have pointed out: his tendency to prioritize his own narrative and convenience over genuine sportsmanship.
Obviously, devastating news. I'm heartbroken, speechless, gutted. We've been working so hard.
Sure, Jake, because nothing says genuine concern like over-the-top melodrama. Using words like devastating and gutted, he painted a picture of deep personal loss, but was anyone buying it? He continued with, "I fully support postponing the event, so Mike Tyson has no excuses come fight night. My fans know that I don't want to face Iron Mike at anything but his best." Nice try, Jake. By implying Tyson might need an excuse, he subtly downplayed Tyson's real health concerns. A classic Jake move. Jake's reaction was more about keeping up his tough guy image than showing real concern for Tyson. He claimed, "I value Mike's health first and foremost. Love that guy, have so much respect for him," but his tone and content said otherwise. It was clear he was more focused on making himself look good. Paul's inconsistencies made his act even more obvious.
This fight's going to change the world, and I turn all my L's into W's. That's a motto I live by.
Really, Jake? Throwing in your cliched bravado during a statement about Tyson's health? Smooth move. We know that Jake Paul loves to brag about turning L's into W's, but his recent actions after postponing the fight with Mike Tyson show he's all talk. This turning losses into wins mantra sounds great until you realize it's just a catchy phrase he uses to boost his image. The whole idea is supposed to mean bouncing back from setbacks, but let's be real. Jake's reaction to the postponement didn't show any of that. Instead of showing genuine concern for Mike Tyson's health or using the delay to improve himself, Jake's response was all about him. Then there's the whole resilience thing Jake loves to talk about. Look at his track record. He picks opponents who are older or less experienced. It's less about turning losses into wins and more about picking fights he's sure to win. Fighting a 57-year-old Tyson is not exactly the embodiment of taking on real challenges. Jake's motivational speeches also feel pretty fake when you dig a bit deeper. He loves saying things like "the universe makes no mistakes" and other feel-good lines, but it's all just to keep his young fans hooked. This whole act has bigger implications too. Jake's young fans look up to him, and he's teaching them that image is everything. Forget genuine effort and improvement. It's all about how you look and what people think of you. In the end, Jake's actions reveal a focus on maintaining his tough guy persona rather than displaying real sportsmanship or personal growth. His inconsistencies and self-centeredness make his bravado appear hollow, impacting not only his image but also the values he promotes to his impressionable audience.
That I don't want to face Iron Mike at anything but his best.
Jake Paul's insistence on fighting a 57-year-old Mike Tyson, who recently had a health scare, seems disingenuous. Tyson's prime is long past, raising questions about Jake's real motives and the ethics of his fight choices. Jake's immediate, highly public reaction to the fight's postponement showcases his knack for turning every situation into a publicity stunt. Instead of a heartfelt message of support, he crafted a narrative to keep the spotlight on himself. This is another example of how Jake's career is more about controversy and self-promotion than real sportsmanship and respect. The postponement of the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight has significantly impacted the undercard fighters. These athletes, who had been training intensively for the July 20th event at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, now face disrupted schedules, financial setbacks, and halted careers. Katie Taylor, the reigning WEA, WBC, IBF, WBO, and ring lightweight champion, was set for a big rematch against Amanda Serrano, the unified featherweight world champion. Both had spent months in intense training camps with specialized coaches, nutritionists, and sparring partners. Now, they have to rework everything, which isn't cheap or easy. Their lives revolved around this fight date, and now it's all uncertain. Ashton Silve, a young prospect with amazing speed and technique, was eager to showcase his skills on the undercard. Now, he's frustrated, expressing on social media how the postponement has upended all of his hard work, preparation, and the money spent on training camps. This highlights the financial strain on undercard fighters, whose plans have been thrown into chaos. Fighters, unlike Jake Paul, rely on their fight purses to cover living expenses and training costs. Take Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a former middleweight champion trying to rebuild his career. This fight was a significant part of his comeback, and the postponement disrupts his momentum. Chavez Jr. has been vocal about his disappointment, saying, "This delay affects not just me but all the fighters who were counting on this event. We need clarity and a new date as soon as possible." Jake Paul's role in this chaos is substantial. While he's busy maximizing publicity and maintaining his image, the undercard fighters are left dealing with the fallout. Paul's insistence on rescheduling the fight for later in the year instead of exploring other solutions like finding a new opponent or adjusting the fight card shows his lack of consideration for his fellow athletes. Critics have long argued that Paul's approach to boxing is more about self-promotion than genuine athletic competition. His previous opponents, often older or less experienced, have led to accusations of cherry-picking and focusing on spectacle over substance. Tyson's medical emergency was a chance for Paul to show solidarity with the undercard fighters by pushing for solutions that would allow the event to proceed in some way. Instead, he's left many fighters in a tight spot. Amanda Serrano, echoing what everyone else is feeling, tweeted, "The postponement is a big blow. We've put everything into our preparation, and now we're left waiting. It's frustrating and unfair." Her words sum up the collective disappointment and uncertainty felt by all the fighters affected by the delay. Now comes the moment you've all been waiting for, the reveal of Jake Paul's next opponent. This guy hasn't confirmed it, and he probably doesn't even know about it yet. But hey, it's Jake. He thinks he's the boss and can do whatever he wants. So who's next? KSI? Yes, that YouTuber rapper turned boxer. Aren't they just a match made in heaven? On May 30th, after the news about Tyson's health issues, Jake took to social media to challenge KSI. Classic Jake, always stirring the pot. He tweeted, "KSI, since Mike is out, let's settle this once and for all on July 20th. No more excuses. I'll even fight you at 185 lbs. Let's give the fans what they want." Because nothing says, "I care about my opponent's health," like immediately jumping to another fight. KSI, never one to back down, fired back with his usual bluntness. He tweeted, "I got a fight lined up in August. Why don't you fight a real opponent instead of an old man? Let's do this in December at 185 lbs, no excuses." KSI basically called Jake out for picking easy targets and avoiding real challenges. This whole situation has significant implications for Jake Paul. Fighting KSI is a high-stakes move to prove he's the king of influencer boxing. KSI isn't just another YouTuber. He's got legit wins over Logan Paul, Jake's brother. This fight would draw massive viewers and might actually earn Jake some respect if he wins. But let's be real. KSI is young, fit, and eager to knock Jake down a peg, so the risk is huge. For KSI, accepting Jake's challenge means stepping into a fight fans have been dying to see. It's a chance to cement his legacy and potentially end Jake's hype train. However, KSI has an August fight planned, and he's not about to jump into a bout with Jake on short notice and mess up his carefully laid plans. So while Jake is busy trying to make headlines and act like he's the authority, KSI is playing it smart. The drama between these two is far from over, and whether they actually face off remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, the boxing world is watching, popcorn in hand, waiting for the next twist in this saga. In the end, Jake Paul's tactics continue to underscore his focus on self-promotion over sportsmanship. His actions have left a trail of frustrated and financially strained fighters who were counting on the postponed event. As he navigates his next moves, the impact on those around him serves as a stark reminder of the broader consequences of his controversial career. Meanwhile, the potential showdown with KSI looms, promising another chapter in the ongoing saga of influencer boxing. Whether it's spectacle or substance, the world is watching.